Hello, everybody. My name's Cody Spurlock, and I'm here with
Alex King.
And today we're going to find out what makes Alex King so special. So I'm just going to ask, why are you special?
I honestly don't know.
What is it that you do?
I do, in terms of extracurriculars, I do basketball and track, and I feel like I'm pretty good at both of those, So,
we're in the middle of basketball season right now. We got the game against Lions tomorrow, right? I'll be up in the stands cheering you guys on. What is it looking like for you guys?
I mean, we've been playing really good in these last 8 or so games. We've really started to hit our stride and play better as a team, and so Lions is also looking a lot better this year than they have in years past, but so are we. So I feel like it'll be a good environment, should be loud.
And Nickerson versus Lions is always fun. In any sport, really.
Yeah.
The rivalry definitely exists there. They're leaving CKL, so this is probably one of your last matchups against them. Probably for a while for Nickerson in general, but specifically for you, unless they're on the schedule next year.
I feel like there might be a chance of that just because they're kind of close.
Yeah.
We have a lot of close out-of-league opponents, and so I feel like that might be one just thrown on the schedule there. But, yeah, they are leaving, so.
So this is probably the last end-league matchup against Lions. Be pretty fun to leave the rivalry off with a nice W in the win column.
Yeah, that would be pretty nice.
How is it that you go about basketball? What's the mentality that you take in coming into the season, going into games, even at practices?
Well, going into the season, I had way higher expectations than what we've accomplished so far, at the start of the season, because, we were in a lot of the games that we were playing, and it was just kind of demoralizing, and it's just we're so close, but we're still so far away, and then we had the tournament where we went in and got second place, which that was a really good confidence booster. And so it's
it was St. John, right?
St. John.
Yeah, that's where I was paying attention to the updates from home. I was gonna go for your guys' championship game, but ran out of gas.
Yeah.
But you guys beat Larned, right, in that one, and then
St. John and then Larned. Yeah.
St. John and then Larned. That must have been fun. That, in my opinion, for me, I noticed a big change in the team just around school from before the St. John tournament to after. Because after St. John, you beat Halstead, who I think if you look at the rankings in December, they were ranked 4 in CKL.
Yeah, they were projected to be a lot better than they ended up being. They got 2 really good guys, and then the rest of the team's kind of
role
hit
players.
Or miss.
Yeah. And you guys pulled the win against Larned, which was a nail biter. That last one.
Yeah.
Had some trouble on the free throw line there at the end of the game.
Yeah,
but
that's one of the big things that carried over to Halstead. We missed 8 in the fourth quarter against Larned, and then we went and shot 22 for 27 against Halstead and didn't miss any in the second half.
And then you guys, you play like that. You just get better every game, and the season just starts to look better. That's from my perspective is what you guys have really been doing in basketball.
Yeah. We've doubled our win total of the last 2 years, and had a chance to get 5, which was what we had 3 years ago, last Friday against Smokey. But Smokey's a very physically imposing team, and came down to the last second, so we just couldn't.
Yeah, and
even finish it out.
Even though you may have lost, somebody did hit a half, over a half court shot.
Yeah.
So you win some, and then sometimes Taylor England decides to throw the ball down court and it goes in. So obviously a W would have been preferred with that, but that's what was the energy going into the half at that game looking like?
Oh, it was kind of before the shot, I was thinking, okay, we gotta pick it up. But then they hit that, and then it's just oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's hype.
And then so we're all running, we're all jumping, and we go in, we come out at half, get 4 straight steals, score on all of them, and then, it was kind of just trading shot for shot, and then at the end, it got away from us. We had some costly turnovers, and we failed to execute some of our sets, and
looking at the score of the game, even though the final score it was still a close matchup. The
Oh,
final
yeah.
score, I don't think, is necessarily indicating on how close of a game that really was.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, obviously, you fouled to stop the clock, and then they just made their foul shots.
Yeah.
So, like,
And
if you take away those foul shots, really, the game is a one-score game there at the end. And I was watching from the live stream, and, obviously I was rooting for you guys, but I noticed the energy going into the second half, that was good. A lot of people in sports love to talk about how there are momentum plays, and there are momentum plays. But then there's just what happened there. And then you guys continued. I mean, like Skyler he was playing like a dog, and you were out there. I mean,
really stepping up. I mean, I know I didn't have my best game, but I mean, we've had some guys go down, and so some of the people from the JV level, like Austin Peterson and Dallas Yoder, have really, really stepped it up and helped at the varsity level.
Yeah, and so congrats on your recent success on there. I would love to see more from that. But beyond basketball, and even beyond like what you do in school, like what is it that you spend your free time doing? Like, what are you doing when you don't have to be doing anything?
I mean, I guess playing video games, just laying down.
What games you play?
Fortnite, some Call of Duty,
I recently got into Fortnite myself. I always didn't like the game because it just didn't really interest me. But, my little brother, Riley, started playing with him and his brother. And then I just realized I don't have to be good at Fortnite. I just have to be better than him. And so I go into creative and drop 20 kills on him. But, you play any other games? You were saying Call of Duty?
I mean, dabble in some Siege and some 2K and Madden here and then. But I'd say that's pretty much it for game wise.
What are your plans after all high school? What do you wanting to do?
Maybe accounting or athletic training or being like a coach of some sort. Because I coach my brother's team now, and
how's that going?
It's 6-0 rec champs.
6-0 rec champs. Hey, what sport is that?
Basketball.
Basketball?
Yep.
Hey, that's impressive. I dabbled in rec basketball when I was younger. I know, big surprise. I used to ball out. I was actually placed on a underage group. Like, I was in 5th grade, and I was playing with 3rd graders. And I hit my growth spurt in 5th grade. So I was tall. I was able to just put the ball up, knock it in. So is that fun? Nice bonding experience between you and your brother too.
And it's nice because hopefully our coach stays, and so I'm trying to get them with the offense that we run at the high school level and just kind of like the mentality that goes into it, and just so they're ready once they reach the high school level. And
that's smart. When we talk about people who really have an impact here. That will have an impact. And so, I think that's actually, I mean, when we talk about Nickerson athletics, it's no secret. We've been struggling past
there's
4
no
or 5
culture.
years.
There's
The foundation was never really built into us. Like, you look at the baseball state champ teams, what the common theme there is
they've played baseball all their life.
Baseball, they were on that team, and they knew what they were doing. They came into practice, and they didn't have to work necessarily so much on learning the game, but learning to better the game.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you're making that stride in basketball to set up a future generation to where a culture is established there, because it just it's not really here right now, and some of it's partially due to things like COVID, but a lot of it's just as a district sometimes it feels like we're a little fragmented. You got your South Hutch kids,
and then the Nickerson kids, and so
And so sometimes we don't really meet until middle school, and then we have to build everything off of there. And I mean, it's hard to build off of there when the weight room at the middle school is a supply closet. But I'm definitely glad that you're helping set up a future generation of kids who can have a Nickerson culture a part of them. What got you into that?
Well, so last year, actually, one of the coach of the team actually asked me if I wanted to help, and I thought that would be good because he wanted him to get, high school, the offense and stuff. And so I've done it the last 2 years, and hopefully this next year that whenever, my brother and a lot of the kids on my team are in middle school, the middle school coaches can build off of that, because I know we were trying to have that last year, but then it didn't really work out, and they did completely different stuff. And so one thing that I'm hoping is that we'll get coaches at the middle school level who will take and learn from what the high school does and apply it to their middle school team, so they can come in and be fluent with offensive and defensive sets and all this stuff, so they can come into high school and it's just second nature to them. And I run majority of our plays with my team, and I mean, they're kind of dumbed down a little bit, so it's not all of this stuff. And they run it good, and so I'm just hoping that they'll be able to remember it and be taught it in middle school, so they can come to high school and be at the level where they can go and win at wherever level they're playing at their freshman year.
Like I said, creating that strong foundation, it's necessary. I know very different sports, but like football and basketball, running a different offense every single year.
Yeah, it's not
good, and you can see it. When I was in 7th grade, we had head coach Matt England ran one offense. Next year, we had Mr. Flowers ran another offense. Get into freshman year, we have John Wellman who runs another offense. Sophomore year, we get Langford, different offense, and then now we're with Bauman, hoping that he stays here, builds that, and the different offensive every year. It's hard to build on that. So, like I said, it's great that you're being a part of building that younger generation.
Yeah. Because, when you really look at it, like other schools, like Andell with football or Andell with any sport, it's been engraved in their brain ever since they were a kid that you got to do this is what we're going to do, and this is how we're going to do it. And, from a football standpoint, they had the longest winning streak in the nation and won like 4 or 5 straight state championships, and have been dominant in general.
Yeah, like even in wrestling at Andale, it's a culture there.
Yeah,
I think that you said that very well. It's a culture, because cultures win games.
Oh yeah, easily.
And without that winning culture, it's just.
And it's like for basketball with Haven and Heston. Heston runs the same pressure man defense at middle school levels as they do in high school, and same thing with Haven. They run the 1-3-1, and they run it to a T because they've been doing it since a young age, and they just know the ins and outs of it. They know the strengths of it and the weaknesses, and how to better the weaknesses and capitalize on the strengths of it. And so it's just kind of, I enjoy it, getting it into young kids.
You hoping to maybe be able to play some college ball?
I don't know if playing college basketball is something I would want to do. I feel like I definitely could, but I don't know if it's something that I would want to do. I've been on 2 visits up at Sterling College, but
Sterling College, I've been to Sterling College a few times. It's a nice campus.
They got really nice athletic facilities.
They do, especially they're pretty new too.
Yeah, the weight room is new. They have a new auxiliary gym that's open, I think, just for students to go in and just
nice
around,
new facilities over there for their athletics department. And I know you said that you were maybe interested in being an athletic trainer, and they have a pretty good program for that.
Oh yeah, because a lot of our recent athletic trainers have come from out of the Sterling program, and I know we have a girl that comes down from Sterling that is our, fill-in for game days and stuff. Yeah. So, yeah. Would
you ever be interested in being an athletic director here at Nickerson?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Beyond, basketball, and like I said, I'm I think it's great that you're building that early culture and your recent success. I hope you guys continue. But going more into like the school aspect of here, right? What's your favorite classes to do?
I'm a fan of Miss Stout's classes and Bruce and Bauman's, because on Miss Stout you kind of get to learn about computers and designing stuff, which has always kind of interested me. And then with Bruce and Bauman, you get to be active and lift weights, get stronger and faster.
I know you said that maybe something with accounting. Are you telling me you're good at math?
I would say I'm okay at math.
That's where me and you are different. I'm terrible at math. The only thing that makes sense to me in that classroom is the fact that nothing makes sense to me in those classrooms. I think it's impressive that you even are okay with it, because between, me and you, my freshman, sophomore year, lost. My junior year, even more lost. Is math something that you kind of just like, you picked up along the way, or?
I mean, I pick up on things fast when I learn them for the most part. Like I just see it and I see how it's done, and then I can apply it to my work, and I can if I have a visual example of how it's done, I can get it done with different numbers and values and stuff like that. And I don't know, I've just kind of picked up on things fast across a lot of things in life, and so I guess that's helped me.
So, have you been in the district your whole life, or you came from?
Sixth grade, second semester of sixth grade, I moved from Texas.
From Texas?
Yep.
What was Texas like? Been a few times, but.
I mean, from the school that I was at, this place is very different because I was at a pretty big school in Texas, and I mean, all my family lives in Nickerson and Hutch, so I always have been here in like Christmas time and summertime. I've been around the area, but like actually going to school, it's just kind of crazy because there's like 300 kids in our school.
Yeah, about 300.
350 around there. And I had that many kids. I had like 400 in my grade.
In your grade? Yeah,
yeah.
That's something that I've been paying a lot of attention to recently is the size of our school.
It's just gone down a lot.
This is Kansas, right? So obviously, you compare us to some of the smaller 1A, 2A, even some of the other 3A schools. 300 is a relatively large school, but I've been going to some forensics tournaments, and there we compete across classification. So there's 6A, 5A schools there, and the biggest difference between us and a lot of other kids is just the size of our school. I mean, you get places like Wichita East with over 2,000 kids. It's crazy to me to even understand like how large their student population is. But then you even look at their facilities and how big they are, and sometimes even how nice they are. We used to be a 4A only a couple of years ago.
And then
I was a freshman.
Yeah, and you lose a lot of kids to the online schooling, which takes away from the total enrollment, even if they're enrolled in your school's online. Yeah. And so I think that's a big reason why we lost.
And then we talk about the fragmenting of our district, and that plays in a lot, right? The biggest school in our district isn't even our high school. It's South Hutchinson Elementary.
Yeah.
So we talk about fragmenting of our district. It's, we lose kids to Hutch. I mean, they're a nice 5A, almost 6A school, and it's quicker to get to Hutch High from South Hutch than it is to get to Nickerson. So fragmenting definitely plays in there, but. We talk about how, we're a smaller school, but I think that definitely comes with some advantages. Yeah. Like being able to just build more of a personal relationship with some of our teachers.
And just everybody in general, because whenever I moved here, I mean, it's like everybody knows everybody, and everybody's, kind of friends with everybody and, like, knows what other people's interests are. But, like, at my old school, I mean, I didn't know. Well, I knew a majority of the kids, but, like, some of them I had no clue, and I had never even seen them before. And so it's just kind of...
Like here, I think, aside from some of the freshmen and sophomores, I pretty much know everybody. I like to say hi to most people in the hallway, and I just don't know if you really necessarily get all that personal connection at some of these larger schools. It's hard to know, 1,000+ kids, and even if you know who they are, their names, you don't really get to talk to them a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, even here with the, couple hundred kids, sometimes, there's obviously kids that you don't talk to very much. But I think the advantage of the size of the school we are is, we're big enough to still have some of these opportunities. And we're large enough to have some resources that smaller schools don't. But, we're small enough to where we get to know everybody. The Nickerson community, it's great. Like, you go this summer, you have Clear and Nearly.
That's a really nice time where everybody kind of comes around.
Or even the used to be Flicks. It's now On Call. Like, you ever go there in the evening, you just see some kid's parents there.
You just know them, and it's just a conversation.
They're little conversations we get to have with people outside of our school who are still involved with community are great. I walk around Walmart and Hutch with my Letterman jacket on, and they're like, "Hey, you're from Nickerson," and it's like, I don't even necessarily need to know them. if I know they're from Nickerson or if they are associated with it, it's like I can have a conversation with that.
Yeah, because you can branch it off into areas of the.
But what's your favorite thing about going to Nickerson specifically? Something that you may not get to see in other places.
I mean, I don't know really. I mean, I feel like we have a lot of history in our school, like across multiple like sports and academics and stuff. I mean, the history of the building itself is kind of intriguing to me because you go from it was originally a college and then
and a lot of people don't know that. Even some of the oldest members of our community, this used to be Nickerson Community College, and our building
had several names too.
Yeah,
because you had Nickerson College and it was Nickerson Normal College, and then even our high school has gone through many name changes.
Yeah, and our district and grade changes. I mean, our middle school, Reno Valley, used to be called North Reno, and we were the Wildcats. And then South Hutch used to be the middle school too, South Hutchinson Tigers. Yeah. That changed while I was there, actually. When I was in third grade, I think it was about fifth grade, we changed from South Hutchinson Tigers to South Hutchinson Panthers. You can still kind of see it in some of the building. It's red and blue there, but I think that kind of goes back to even some of the fragmenting that we were talking about.
Yeah.
Like, it has its disadvantages in some areas, but it's a nice history. It's a unique history, too.
And because you mentioned those three, but there was actually two more, I'm pretty sure. There was Mitchell and then Union 5, I think.
Something like that.
Because I know...
You know who knows a lot about this? Miss Farney.
Yeah,
you remember Miss Farney?
Yeah, she was telling us about it one class period. And
talk about there used to be four middle schools, and so they'd get to high school, and they'd be from four different schools. And those stories are always interesting.
Oh, yeah.
And we have a very rich history, and you talk about some of the history of some of our activities. I mean, been in the attic recently. We have a lot of just random regional trophies, state placing trophies that I don't think get talked about a lot. And, when you think of Nickerson sports history, you think of baseball mainly. I mean, we have a really rich history there.
Just pumping out athletes, man.
But what else you get to go? Tennis. We don't have a men's tennis team anymore.
I think it's coming back this year, actually.
Yeah. Are you gonna look into playing for that, or are you gonna stick to track?
I'm sticking to track.
Sticking to track, yeah. Even though I'm an obvious athlete, I think I'm gonna place my bets in somewhere else. I don't know if men's tennis is where it's at for me, but. We talk about history. It's just there, and I'd like to think that we're making some history as well going on. We have some activities here that are probably doing the best that they've done in a long time. Or
debate and forensics. I mean, I know debate for sure has been really doing good.
Yeah, and
last couple of years.
All the credit really goes back to the school who's been able to facilitate that process. And not just the school as in the administration, but everybody who makes up the school, the students, the staff, the not just the teachers, but even our maintenance guys, our janitors, our grounds crew people. I mean, it's always so fun to just have conversations with people who normally don't have conversations with. Our janitor here, Dave.
Oh, he's a really cool guy.
Great dude. Yeah. Fun to talk to. Nice dude. We have a janitor here, Giles. Don't know if you.
I don't think I know him.
He's one of the older folks. Colton Corbin Giles.
I think is he the taller guy?
Taller guy. Yeah.
Okay, I've seen him.
That's Colton and Corbin and Jenna's grandpa. We talk about the school and the community. There's a lot of just random familial connections too. I mean, seems like
I know I'm related to a lot of the kids at the school and just people in general.
Yeah, it's random relations. It's a cool way to look at our school. It's just who's friends with who, but who's related to who. I mean, you have the Nelsons who are related to half the kids in the school. You have Adric and they're cousins with Miley and they're cousins with Lily and there's so many kids in our school who are just related to each other. And personally, my family roots lie outside of town, outside of the area. I'm not really related to anyone here, but it's always fun to watch really? That's your cousin? That's your cousin? That's your cousin?
Yeah.
Those type of stories, you talk about the history here. It's all been established long ago, but I like to think that we continue to build onto the culture, and sometimes it's not through leaving a state title, and sometimes it's not through breaking a record. Sometimes it's coaching the youth basketball team, establishing a history that maybe, your name isn't necessarily going to be stapled across, but Nickerson will be able to build their own history. And when we call ourselves Nickerson Panthers, that's how we really establish our legacy here. Yeah. We build a culture, we build a community that can help people strive and help people succeed. Yeah. You came in here and you said you don't really know what makes you special, and that's all right. A lot of us don't know what makes it special, and sometimes it's hard to find out what makes it special. But I think one of the most special things about you, Alex, so you're a Nickerson Panther.
Yeah.
You get everything that it includes. You get the wins, you get the losses, and you get the history. And we talk about what we've done here and what you've done here. And I think that the culture that you're helping build, both right now at the high school and setting up future generations, I think that's wonderful. Yeah. I think we get a special spotlight on you for help contributing to that. Yeah. So that about brings us to our end of our time here. Thank you for talking to me. Thank you for sharing your story.
You're welcome.
And thank you for helping building that culture that you've been talking about.
Yeah.
So to all of you, thank you for listening in. Coming with you with more episodes soon. This has been Alex King. Next time we'll be showing a few more students and staff from Nickerson High School. So thank you all for your time. Have a good rest of your days. Thank you.